Have you ever found yourself in a situation where having too much of a good thing becomes a problem? Where abundance turns into an agonizing dilemma, forcing you to make a choice that feels inherently wrong, even if it's strategically right? For the Vancouver Canucks, that's precisely the unenviable position they find themselves in, staring down a goaltending conundrum that is as luxurious as it is heartbreaking. They have a star on the rise, a young netminder who just delivered an MVP performance, only to be told implicitly that there's no room for him at the inn. This isn't the kind of goaltending crisis that plagues so many NHL teams, the desperate search for anyone who can stop a puck. No, the Canucks' problem is the opposite. They have an embarrassment of riches between the pipes, a surplus of talent that now demands a painful sacrifice. At the heart of this bittersweet saga is Arturs Silovs, the 24-year-old Latvian sensation, fresh off a Calder Cup playoffs MVP performance for the Abbotsford Canucks. His heroics, his dazzling .934 save percentage, his 5 shutouts, they should be a cause for unbridled celebration, a clear sign of a future cornerstone. Instead, they're a ticking clock, signaling an almost inevitable departure. The writing, it seems, is already on the wall, etched in the long-term contracts of his peers and the candid admissions from the Canucks' top brass. The question isn't if Arturs Silovs will be traded, but when and for what painful reason must a team part ways with a player who has so clearly earned a shot? The core of Vancouver's goaltending problem lies in their recent commitments. Thatcher Demko, their undisputed number one, just signed a 3-year extension that kicks in next season, locking him in through the 2028-29 campaign. Hot on his heels is Kevin Lankinen, whose contract stretches even further, a 5-year deal that keeps him in Vancouver until the end of the 2029-30 season. These are significant long-term investments, clear declarations of intent from the Canucks management. They've chosen their tandem, and that tandem for the foreseeable future is Demko and Lankinen. So, where does that leave Arturs Silovs? A player who, by all accounts, has done everything right. He's developed, he's excelled, he's proven he can perform under pressure, even leading his AHL team to playoff glory. Yet with Demko and Lankinen firmly entrenched, Silovs has no clear path to the NHL in Vancouver. He's a highly capable, highly motivated young goaltender who surely yearns for the chance to play at the highest level, a chance that is currently blocked by 2 established veterans. The only scenario that opens a door for him is an injury to either Demko or Lankinen, a grim prospect, even if Demko's recent injury history does make it a plausible one. But the Canucks can't simply stash Silovs in the AHL as injury insurance. The cruel twist of a knife here is that next season, Arturs Silovs will no longer be exempt from waivers. This means that if the Canucks try to send him down to Abbotsford, any other NHL team could claim him for free. For a player of his talent and recent performance, that's not a risk the Canucks can afford to take. Losing an asset like Silovs for nothing would be a catastrophic misstep. This leaves the Canucks with 2 stark, unappealing options: either trade a goaltender or risk losing Silovs on waivers. And while the thought of trading Demko or Lankinen might cross some fans' minds, it's highly improbable. Lankinen has a no-movement clause for the next 2 seasons, making him difficult to move, and while Demko's no-movement clause doesn't kick in until next year, he is the clear franchise goaltender, the anchor of their future. Trading him would be a seismic shift, a complete reversal of their stated plans. There is technically a third option, carrying 3 goaltenders on the NHL roster. But any seasoned hockey executive will tell you that's a recipe for disaster. Goalies who don't play regularly tend to stagnate, their development stalling. Furthermore, it would severely limit the team's flexibility, forcing them to carry 1 less forward or defenseman, a critical disadvantage in the tight confines of an NHL roster. So, the conclusion becomes painfully clear: trading Arturs Silovs is not just likely, it's inevitable. The Canucks management group, it seems, has already arrived at this same conclusion, their recent comments serving as thinly veiled acknowledgments of Silovs' impending departure. When general manager Patrick Allvin was asked about the team's goaltending triangle, his response was telling. He barely mentioned Silovs at all, instead pivoting to praise the team's other young goaltenders, almost as if preemptively justifying the trade. We have a young goalie in Tai Young that played extremely well down there as well. Alvin stated, shifting the focus, we have good depth in net here, and with the addition of Alexei Medvedev in the draft too, we're really positioned strong in net. When pressed directly on whether he would move one of his netminders, Alvin resorted to the classic GM non-answer. We'll see. I'm always looking for ways to improve our team, and if it makes sense and something comes available, then definitely we'll look into it. It's the kind of diplomatic language designed to keep options open, but for those listening closely, the subtext was loud and clear. A trade is on the table, and Silovs is the most logical piece to move. Jim Rutherford, the Canucks president of hockey operations, was, as is his custom, a little more direct, cutting through the corporate speak with refreshing candor. Speaking on Sportsnet 590, Rutherford echoed Alvin's sentiment about the organizational depth, but then zeroed in on Silovs' precarious position. We have some very, very good young goalies coming, Rutherford affirmed, listing Tai Young and Alexei Medvedev as future NHL talents. We've got things lined up here. Our plan going forward right now is to go with Demko and Lankinen. As well as Silovs played, he could be the odd guy out. He's not waiver exempt anymore. So we're going to have to deal with that here in the offseason, but we feel very fortunate where we are with goaltenders. He could be the odd guy out. Those words, delivered with a pragmatic tone, seal Silovs' fate. The message from both Alvin and Rutherford is unmistakable. The Canucks believe they have enough goaltending depth in their system to withstand a Silovs trade. They see Medvedev, a second-round pick in this year's draft, as the long-term goaltender of the future, albeit one who will need several years to develop. Tai Young, who had a solid first pro season splitting time between the AHL and ECHL, is also seen as a promising prospect ready to compete for the starting job in Abbotsford. And that AHL competition is another critical factor pushing Silovs out the door. Even if he were to somehow stick around, the Abbotsford Canucks would face a severe logjam in their own crease. Beyond Young, the team also has Nikita Talapilo and Aku Kaskenvuo vying for starts. The development of these other prospects would be hindered if Silovs remained in the system, taking up valuable playing time. The organization simply has too many goalies who need reps, so the bittersweet reality sets in. Arturs Silovs, a player who has done everything right, who has earned his shot through sheer performance and dedication, is now a victim of circumstance, a victim of his own success and the Canucks' strategic decisions. He is a valuable trade chip, a rising star who will undoubtedly find an NHL home where he can truly flourish. For the Canucks, it's a tough but necessary business decision, a way to leverage a surplus in one area to address needs elsewhere on the roster. It's a stark reminder that professional sports, for all its passion and glory, is ultimately a business of tough choices. Sometimes, even when a player excels, even when they embody the very spirit of competition, the numbers simply don't add up. Arturs Silovs will likely wear another team's jersey next season, a testament to his talent, but also to the cold, hard reality of roster management. It's a sad farewell to a player who deserved his chance in Vancouver, but a necessary one for a team looking to balance its books and its future. What are your thoughts on this difficult decision, Canucks fans? Is it the right move for the team, or a painful loss of a homegrown talent? Let us know your perspective in the comments below, and if you found this report insightful, please give us a like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the Canucks journey.